Hello, my friends. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Let me know if you have any amazing Mother's Day weekend plans. I hope you do. Whether that means you are laying on your couch, you're going to the spa, you're going to all the events. I know that's what it's really turned into, is if you have children that are involved in sports, that's probably where you will be this weekend. Okay, so visceral fat. Let me know if you have any specific questions about visceral fat. If you've never heard the term, this is the metabolically active, or I should say the most metabolically active fat in our body. It is the fat you can't grab a hold of. Subcutaneous fat is the type that you can see, you can feel, you can maybe see it through cellulite. I understand we don't like subcutaneous fat. However, that is not what typically is holding us back and really causing it to be an uphill battle and slowing down our metabolism and leading to all the other issues, cardiac being one of the biggest culprits. If you've not heard it before, belly fat is the most riskiest place to hold your fat for that reason alone. And so the visceral fat is deep within our organs, surrounding our organs. And so that can be really problematic. And as we get older, God, I wish I could share this visual. I took a snapshot on my computer, but I don't have it here on my phone. So basically, as we age and estrogen goes down, that is one reason why visceral fat goes up. And here we go. I don't understand what the cues are with these fireworks and such. It kind of drives me crazy. But then also, as we get older, typically, not for all of us, I'm hoping not for any of us who are watching this, but for a lot of us, your activity goes down. You know, when you're younger and you're in sports, you're forced to go to X amount of practices per day. Then you've got your games, then you're practicing at home, and then you're just walking all over the place. Then as we get older, we're sitting at a desk job or whatever you do. And then you're sitting at your kids' events instead of walking all over. Maybe you move somewhere that's colder, so you're not as active outside. All these reasons we start slowing down, and that's where visceral fat starts packing on top of estrogen going down. So again, this is a very problematic type of fat to have, not only for all the health issues, but also the aesthetic issues. And, you can also, this is why you see women who are getting older, they might actually weigh the same because they're doing less exercise, they're eating less, they're not lifting as much, and then so their weight is going down because they're losing muscle mass, they're losing some fat mass, yes, but their visceral fat is going up at the same time, so they're getting larger, but the weight might stay the same, and they're like, what is going on? If this is resonating with you, it's probably visceral fat, okay? So, and the waist is an issue. And so 3 different things. There are 38 peer-reviewed studies I just sifted through, and this is kind of the game plan that it's giving. Now, of course, we all know the good balance between weights, HIIT, and lists is going to be really important, but how do we structure it? How does that look? What's the length of time? How many days per week? That is going to be all relative. And so I'm going to give you information here today. However, everyone's journey looks different. And for me to tell you, you got to go out and you got to do X amount of days of this and that and the other, and you got to do this length of time. If you're already doing more than that, then that's not the right answer. If you are doing none of that, that's not the right answer. It's all relative. And so it's kind of the same thing with nutrition. I never have anyone join my program and then I say from day one, this is your meal plan based off of knowing your height and your weight. That's not going to be helpful, because if I'm telling someone to eat all this food, create all these meals, when they don't eat anything of the sort, anything like it, first of all, there is too much change. They're not going to be able to maintain that. They're probably not going to enjoy it. And it's just not going to be fitting into their lifestyle. And so same goes with exercise breakdown. If you're not doing anything, let's start with walking, okay? Let's get out there. If you can walk 10 minutes a day, let's start there. And then let's build on it. I am more along the lines of I would rather you do something every day for a shorter duration of time than just 3 days a week. I'm doing 30 to 60 minutes per session, especially if you're not doing anything yet. So again, when it comes to low intensity, steady state cardio, I don't know why all the weightlifters out there, they shun cardio. They think cardio is so bad. And then it's really hard because there's so much information on here. If you don't hear the overall story, there's so many complexities and you need everything within proper context because yes, when you see these amazing transformations, these women who have muscles like myself, and then they show you when they used to be a runner. And let me know if you've seen this before. There's a few women who used to be marathon runners or whatever. They show that they had belly fat and they were doing too much cardio. They stopped the cardio. Now they went for the weights. They rarely do any kind of cardio. I don't think they don't do any cardio. And if they don't, then eventually they need to. Because cardio is not the problem if it's low intensity. Okay, that is the biggest difference. Yes, if you're out there running 12 miles a day, 20 miles a day, that's not LISS. LISS is 30 to 60 minutes per day is what is recommended for the average person, most people. But again, it's all relative. So start with 10 minutes, work your way up to 30 to 60 minutes per day. But your heart rate should be where my heart rate is now, maybe slightly elevated, 50 to 65% of your max heart rate. Okay, so that is how you gauge your LISS. Am I able to have a conversation? I should be able to walk and talk. That is low intensity. Or if I'm biking, or if I'm doing the elliptical, I'm not doing HIIT training. Okay, so much different. And so what they found is that LISS is highly effective for reducing visceral fat for perimenopausal as well as postmenopausal. Okay, now when it comes to HIIT, high intensity interval training, again, it's all relative, but the people who are going to benefit most from HIIT from a fat loss, belly fat, visceral fat standpoint will be our perimenopausal women as opposed to postmenopausal. Postmenopausal women, again, I'm backing this up with 38 studies. The postmenopausal women, they don't benefit from it as much. And whether that's because they've elevated cortisol, I think perimenopausal women do too, but I think it's to do with the lack of estrogen. You really want to find that good healthy balance. So if they have benefited, it's not doing a 30-minute session once a week. It's from doing little splashes of it throughout the week. So 10 minutes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a total of 30 minutes max per week, okay? And again, this isn't the remedy for all, but this is what the studies showed, okay? So again, relatively speaking, you're going to benefit more from HIIT perimenopausal. Once you're postmenopausal, you don't benefit as much, but if you want to incorporate that in, splash it in 10-minute doses. And then when it comes to your resistance training, every woman, I don't care if you're perimenopausal, postmenopausal, premenopausal, you need to be doing minimum 3 days a week, okay? Again, it's all relative. Start with 10 minutes, 3 days a week, build up, but no more than 6 days per week. I think at some point in my life, I was probably doing 6 to 7. Now I do maybe 5 days, I would say, a week on average. And I try to do 2 lower body and then the rest upper body. However, I used to only do 1 lower body, and then I realized I need to kick it up a notch, okay? And so that's how I structure mine. But every woman I work with is completely different. I do want to show you a couple pictures because I'm going to end with this. I am running a Mother's Day special. So if you feel overwhelmed, you've maybe followed my account for a while, you feel that what I preach is really resonating with you. And if I don't like HIIT, does bike riding count? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is something I am offering is a special on my consults. Okay. So I have a full coaching program, but I do understand not everyone wants to dive into a monthly commitment and a full blown program. So this way you're going to have an action plan. You'll have 60 minutes with either myself or our other head coach, Jody. She's amazing. And we're going to give you an action plan to take away from the call any questions that have been just eating you alive. You can ask away. It is your time, however you want to use it. But this has been an amazing tool for so many women. They get off the call. They're like, oh my gosh, that was so much value. And I want to show you 2 of my clients who are actually in the program right now. And yeah, they're just amazing. They're amazing. They're amazing. And so Norma is incredible. I'm trying to find which one I put together here. Oop. Hold on. Okay. So here is one picture of her. And so I'm sharing my ladies over 40. And I will say she came into the program looking amazing. But you can see her visceral fat has reduced significantly. You can see the muscles in her legs, even like her delts, everything are more defined. And again, it's all about the midsection, reducing that for overall wellness. Yes, the aesthetics are great. However, we got to think bigger picture as well. So I'm going to show you another picture of her back area. And you can see, again, the midsection, the back. She's incredible. The bra strap area is all tight and right now. And so I am going to switch this now to another amazing client. And hopefully I'm not scrolling for too long, because I got a lot of pictures in my camera roll. And I wish I didn't. I should have had these ready. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so here we go. I love the booty pictures. I really do. Her back, her glutes, her hamstrings, just incredible things these women are doing. And so I'm going to show you one more of her. Of course, I got to scroll for days. But we are having a special, but it's only good through the end of Mother's Day. So you definitely need to look at my girl here. She, like her hips, her waist, everything. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. So I know people ask me all the time, they're like, you don't ever share before and afters, and you don't, do you even coach anyone? And I'm like, listen here, I do not like people to compare themselves, their journey, to other people's journeys, because everyone has a different starting point. Everyone works at a different pace. However, the women who are interactive, they're asking questions, they're constantly wanting me to, answer things and tweak things. And hey, I really want to fine tune this. Hey, I felt like I was kind of off last week. What can I do to reset? These are all things that are part of it. And again, if you're just joining a program, no one asks about what you're currently doing in your life, what you like eating, what you're capable of making with the time you have, the schedule you have, the desire you have, what you're able to do in the gym. If you hate working out, then I'm not going to set you up with this crazy exercise routine that you're going to despise and never be able to continue. So anyhow, if you want more information on the special, it is running through the end of Mother's Day. So drop the word mom after I post this. I will send you information. And again, rewatch this if you want information on visceral fat reduction, which is very important as we age. Okay? Have a good day.